hold on and upset Richland in what was a battle of two teams that were state champions, Hermiston and Oregon's 5A, and Richland, the defending 4A Washington state champions. But Richland also had the year not exactly how they would have scripted it. This team, though, has a renewed energy as they step into tonight's game. Coming off of a 38-7 loss against Chiawana, you got to expect that Richland's going to be stinging a little bit and looking to give somebody a pop.
Yeah, last year they had the same issue we did. They lost their starting quarterback in the opening game against Chiawana, which to me, that's kind of an odd way you start your MCC 4A schedule, as the top two teams schedule out of 4A to match up with each other week one. But Chiawana happened to put out Richland's starting quarterback at that time. We get a whole new quarterback this year that, of course, he ran the defense. He ran the JV program very, very well. He was a very good quarterback for that JV squad. But this is going to be totally different game speed now, and it showed last week against Chiawana, where they had only a total of 123 total yards of offense against that Chiawana defense.
Well, it was right in the lead there, but let's take a look at the injury report brought to you by Mirasol Family Health Center. Unfortunately, the injury for Chase Elliott, the sophomore, who was the starting quarterback for this team, he was 6 of 7. The only incompletion was the interception at the end of the first quarter. On the play, he got knocked out of the game. 95 yards, a touchdown. There's a broken bone. There's knee ligament issues. He is done for the season. His growth plate issue. We're hoping that the recovery process is quick enough that there's a chance to get onto the hardwood at some point this year, or the baseball diamond at some point this year, but it's going to be a long road back for Chase, and he knows that. David Faitete talked about it in Chalk Talk. He's working on keeping his spirits up, but there's no way to replace not having him, because you had tabbed him as the number one coming in.
Yeah, we should be seeing Chase right here next to us off my left shoulder tonight. He's gonna be with the Richland coach? Oh, excuse me, that's right. They moved down. If they come up,
he should be up with Mike Mosier.
He'll be up with Mike Mosier. And David Faitete gave a very excellent reasoning for that, because Coach Mosier is such a positive force to these quarterbacks, and just trying to keep his mental state in the game, knowing that if he can be up here reading what's going on the field up here, then when he does come back, it can translate to down there. And he'll grow that way, albeit he'll lose a full year of that. But it really surprised me with all the stuff that, they said that they weren't going to do any surgery on him and stuff like that. But I did see him here. He was here with a full, if you want to call it a full leg brace, and went to his thigh, almost to his ankle. And he seemed to be in pretty good spirits. And then he was back here again yesterday morning for the 5:30 practices, and being in good spirits at the 5:30 practice, that's good for anybody.
Robert Sloan is out, banged up shoulder coming into this week, so hopefully seeing him back a week from now. And Guillermo Garay, the starting running back, an ankle injury, they are hoping that he is back next week. So Hermiston down a handful of guys coming into tonight's matchup with Richland. That's your injury report. It's brought to you by Mirasol Family Health Center. Here on the Sway Motors Tailgate Show, we'll continue. When we come back, we'll look at some of the keys to the game and a little bit more about the Richland Bombers on AM 1360 KOHU.
1360 KOHU. Hi, hope to find you well. Let's get this freaking show on the road.
Tony's gonna order again. Joe will.
guys are good to go, right? For you guys?
Yeah.
Fine, we're good.
Good.
Thank you.
You missed.
Terrible loss. Oh man.
This is supposed to be unplugged.
What's that?
It's supposed to be unplugged?
Nope, it just has to go
It's like,
back there.
Sonny, can I have the format? Oh, here, I'll just take it.
Okay. I know I had mine here. Yeah, it's right there.
you need to chill. You're like, binoculars.
Yep.
There ain't no kids out there tonight. Oh, here comes the marching band. I think you're going to talk through that window.
Opening night here in Hermiston as the Bulldog football team gets set to host the Richland Bombers. This is your Sway Motors tailgate show as Richland comes in. You mentioned Harrison Westover, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's a senior, obviously load to deal with. You know, I think the reality is, though, if you look back at the game from last week, the defense has a couple of big plays they give up in the secondary, but you can't take away the big plays. They happen. That's a cliche. Well, if they didn't happen. But other than those big busts about 4 times, but it's 4 plays of like 60. They played good defense against Pasco last week. They limited the running game, and the passing game wasn't. It was just those 4 big plays.
Yeah, they were in, they were in good position. The only thing that I do know that's Coach Hammond did reinforce with them again is, hey, occasionally while you're running downfield side by side with these guys, take a look back. I mean, if you see the receiver turn his head, then you got to look for football. Because if the receiver is going to be running downfield and he's going to be taking a look and he's going to be glancing up, if you see him look back more than once, you know ball's either in the air or he's fighting for a position on you to get the football. That's one thing we really have to do is get our head turned around early and find the football in the air. And if we're up underneath, we got to be looking at quarterback and then find the receiver, find the quarterback, and then go attack.
One thing we didn't talk about a ton is coming into this year, Coach Hammond has made adjustments to that secondary. This was a team that won 2 state titles based on man-to-man defense. Mm-hmm. That's not something they feel like they can do night in, night out in the MCC every single play. Like the 2014 state championship team probably never ran a zone defense the entire season. They had guys who could lock down any receiver that they faced, and frankly, in Oregon 5A, the receiving corps had some good elements, but not as consistently strong athletes as you're seeing in Washington's MCC.
Night after night after night, you're going to see those type of long, lanky, you're going to see a 6'3" and a 6'4" receivers tonight that you're going to see, and we did last week. We saw one big one against Pasco, but the one that really hurt us last week were 2 smaller receivers coming, kind of on a fly sweep out of the backfield and going down. But tonight, those receivers are going to be a little bit on the bigger side that we're going to have to go after, and it's just a matter of making sure that, like I said, we at some point during the total play there have to turn our heads around and take a look, because we know that they're going to be, large in size, taller than Pitney's our biggest defensive back, our tallest defensive back, and they're bigger than Pitney, so we're going to have to be able to go ahead and turn around and find the football as they're going downfield.
Your keys to the game are brought to you by Second Chance Collisions. We can talk about all these other things, Sonny, but for me it comes down simply to this. This offensive line has to perform better than they did last week.
Yeah, they can't go out there with the deer in the headlight reaction. And that's kind of what it was. And, Joe and I talked about it early in tailgate about the fact that when Chase went down, our offensive line was in a position saying, what did we do wrong? Well, they didn't do anything wrong except for finish the play. And now they have to do the same thing on every single play right tonight. They have got to finish out, whether it be their block, whether it be their catch, whether it be their run. No matter what it is, they got to finish. And the biggest thing is tonight, what we got to make sure is that last week there were some elements of our offensive line that were looking for the big offensive blow-up block. We just got to do our job. We just got to contain, keep our pad level low, and drive. How many times last week were we 3 and 4 yards deep, our offensive line, into our backfield? And that was not a team that should have pushed us.
Yeah, David Vitete talked about it in Chalk Talk just a minute ago. The reality is that line has to work better as a unit than it did. So that's, for me, that's what we're looking at tonight as a key to the game, brought to you by Second Chance Collisions. Your starting lineup here tonight for Hermiston's offense. The offensive line will include Chase Bradshaw, Stanley Scott at the tackles. Dustin Coughlin will move to center with Adam Torrey and Josh Fernandez at the guards. In the backfield, Daniel Faitete with the quarterback, Sam Schwarzy at receivers, Garrett Walshley, Trent Pitney, and Brock Remmer. Walshley, 7 receptions, 116 yards, and a receiving touchdown last week. Hermiston's very first touchdown of the season. For the Richland Bombers, their offense is led by Harrison Westover. He's a 6'4", 200-pound senior quarterback. Kitten Stewart in the backfield, a 6'1", 210-pound junior. Ben Fuel, Caden Broxberg, Dawson Paul, Matt Robinson, the receivers. Peyton Smelser at left tackle, Mason Williamson at left guard, Jacob Kump at center, Nathan Swanson at right guard, and Emmett Whitby at right tackle. This is a small, more speed-based offensive line for Richland. Williamson and Swanson, the two guards, come in at 250. Everybody else is right around 200. So Richland, in that run-pass option that David Faitete talked about in the interview just a bit ago, they're going to try to go with speed.
Yeah, they are, and they watching watching on Huddle and everything, seeing what was going on, out there. That's where Chiawana really had a lot of good influence plays, was that they were a lot larger on that front. Richland does have the capabilities of going ahead and of pushing the ball out, but that's when they go. It looks like they go on almost a no verbal count, to where they can go ahead and get the jump on everything and go after you.
So the Bulldogs and the Bombers both looking for win number 1 in the 2019 season. We are getting closer to kickoff here. When we come back on the Sway Motors tailgate show, we will have the anthem, and we will get you the coin toss and get ready for football here tonight on AM 1360 KOHU.
Football fans, welcome to Kansas Field. For tonight's Mid-Columbia Conference matchup, we welcome our guests, Tri-Cities Bombers. Taking on the duo Hermiston High Bulldogs. Fans, please join us live in America. As well as the men around the world in the conference. Pay the ultimate price to protect the great nation. The playing the Seekings national anthem by the Hermiston Marching Band under the direction of Deshaun McClanahan.
Well, that is not the best that the Hermiston Marching Band has ever sounded, and that's not the fault of Director Sean McClanahan. We're a little bit thin here on equipment tonight, one chord, and so everything kind of gets pared down a little bit. It's ultimately my fault. I should have checked ahead of time, but we're able to be here with you on your hometown radio station, AM 1360 KOHU. We welcome you as well if you're joining us online at gohermiston.com, at our web stream on Mixler.com. It's brought to you by Eastern Oregon Telecom Internet at the speed of life. Hermiston and Richland here tonight on Kennison Field at the Bulldog Stadium. Captains getting set to go to midfield. Hermiston tonight, the home uniforms are a purple uniform, black numerals and lettering trimmed in gold, and white pants. The white helmet with the purple H on the side. For the Richland Bombers, they have green pants, white tops, green numerals, and lettering trimmed in yellow. The traditional colors for the Bombers, one of the oldest schools up there in the Tri-Cities. Them, Pasco, Kettewick, the originals, as the Tri-Cities has grown and grown and grown, just like Hermiston, grown and grown and grown. You've got two really big high schools here tonight getting ready to open up play. Although Hermiston is still a 3A school, Richland is a 4A school, so Richland is still quite a bit bigger as the teams get ready to go. 78 degrees right now. We've got some cloud cover above head. Not supposed to see any moisture tonight, and as we look down to the east end zone, the flag's got a bit of action going out from the southwest out towards the northeast right now, but nothing incredibly strong as we move throughout tonight's game down into the 60s by the end of the contest, but it should be dry tonight on the turf field here on Kennison Field.
Yeah, it looks, they're getting ready to flip the coin out there. It is a beautiful night. It's kind of nice where the breeze does come in. Maybe help us a little bit more on the shorter passes. Maybe hurt them a little bit if they try and go over the top of us.
Trainer Dan Emery was very busy a week ago. We're hoping that's not going to be the case tonight. He and Mike Mosier, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, having a conversation back behind the players as the White Hat has just finished the instructions for this game and getting set to toss the coin. Yeah. Another thing about Scott Hammond and that defense is they played very well, and part of that piece is you got to consider how long they were on the field, because even when Hermiston scored early and often in the first quarter and took out the 14-0 lead, they were kind of quick strike drives. So the defense spent a ton of time on the field last week and eventually did have a bit of a wear down to things. Richland's offense is going to start with the ball as they will attack into the wind right to left here this evening, and we are just a minute or so away from kickoff of this game. Gives a chance, I would say, the better unit, the defensive unit from last week, to start on the field.
Yeah, it does. Richland won the toss that time, and more that we're not seeing is, deferring out. But yes, Hermiston, this will be key. If Hermiston can get their defense started right away to where they can go ahead and do their stuff right away and maybe put some controls onto this game, then and force Richland out of what they really want to do, that can mean a whole lot later on in the game.
Crowd still filtering in. The Richland fans on the fairgrounds side of Bulldog Stadium at the bleachers that got finished a year ago. Well, I guess 51 weeks ago, right before kickoff of the opening game of the MCC schedule. Year 2 as a member of the WIAA for Hermiston, and they're hoping that they can, for the second straight year, beat the Richland Bombers to get back to 500. Richland is trying to bounce back from that loss last week to Chiawana and get themselves on what they would consider on track. Marshawn Davis Copeland, a senior running back and defensive back, is deep to receive the kick off of the foot of Trevor Wagner. He's got it teed right in the middle of the field at the 40. The wind will be at his back, albeit it is a slight wind, and the kick is underway. Well struck. Davis Copeland 2 steps into the end zone, will catch it. It's a touchback, and Wagner just hammered that ball. That's a marked improvement from a week ago.
Yeah, his opening kick, last week in Pasco also was a touchback. Took one bounce and into the end zone. And out of his 4 kicks, he did get 2 of them in, but both of them had a little bit of aid with the bounce and roll.
That was majestic right there.
Yeah, their others were usually between the 10 and the 15-yard line as far as everything went for Trevor. He had a good night.
Marshawn Davis Copeland is going to get the start in the backfield. He'll move to the left shoulder of Harrison Westover, the quarterback, with 3 receivers, hands off. Davis Copeland, big hole up the middle. He gets across the 30, 35, flag out as he goes wrestled down across the 40 all the way up to the 44-yard line. A 24-yard run, but a flag back just past the line of scrimmage may erase everything. That's a little bit of a warning shot across the bow, however, with Hermiston seeing a 24-yard run on the opening play.
Yeah, so the nice thing about that is they got caught onside for a holding penalty that time. So, a good start for Hermiston. He'll go ahead and get 3 yards on the rush, and before the holding penalty went out, and then they'll take him back inside of the 15-yard line. So
the 10-yard penalty will push it back to, like Sonny said, about the 13. Ball in the middle of the park. And for Richland, a little bit of a frustrating pause as the Hermiston cheerleaders try to get the student section going. Neon color, the theme all week here, as Hermiston opens up MCC play with this home game. Davis Copeland to the left shoulder again of Westover. Play action. Throw out to the left wing. Open there for Fuel. Fuel has the catch across the 25. Dragging along a defender all the way up to the 28-yard line. The tackle is made by Wagner.
Yeah, that's something that we can't allow, that big quick hitter out there to get into Wagner out there. Actually, that was by
that was actually Jules.
And, to get it out there that quick on that little loop out there, he's got to be able to get that play inside.
9-yard gain on the pass to Fuel. Second down and 1 to go. Left side run for Davis Copeland. And Davis Copeland gets the first down yardage for Richland out to the 35-yard line. And so he'll gain 6 yards on the play.
Brought down by McCamey that time. McCamey had actually a very good game that last week and was able to go ahead and help Hermiston's defense out tremendously.
First down and 10 from the 35. Straight drop, flip out into the right flat. Caught there by Davis Copeland. And on the edge, he'll be chased down. Bulldogs did well to swarm to that play, led by Ryan Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold that time really got out quick and went after it and was able to go ahead and, string that out just enough and push the ball back for basically about a yard gain, 2 yards on the gain that time.
Second out and 8 from the 37-yard line. Right hash mark set. Westover with split backs behind him. Receivers options each way. Hands off. Right side run for Stewart. Stewart caught in the backfield and dropped for a loss.
And he was caught by Stewart.
Stewart tackled by Stewart. 3-yard loss on the run.
Yeah, nice job that time. That time Hermiston actually did not give up the pad level, and Stewart was able to go ahead and get the initial push off the corner into the offensive backfield to make that great stop.
Third down and long for Richland from the 34-yard line. They'll empty the backfield. So it's just Westover. 3 receiver options to his left. He's looking that way immediately. Deep down the field for Fuel. Over the top. Fuel catches it. 35 in Hermiston territory. Beats one man. 10-5. Touchdown Richland. A 66-yard strike. Just a jump ball over everybody's shoulder, and Fuel ran it down.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs allowed Fuel, and he is very explosive. They prepped for him all week long, and that time we allowed him to get a step on us in the defensive backfield, and once Fuel gets going, he is virtually impossible to catch back up to.
A 3-for-3 start for Westover. And now the extra point off of the foot of Joseph Weisenfels. The right-footed kicker chips it up. And it's true. 7-0 Richland. 2 minutes, 4 seconds into the start of this home contest in Hermiston. And the Richland Bombers have the first strike here at AM 1360 KOHU. Yeah, give me your highlighter.
What's that?
Highlighter.
Yeah, this don't make sense anymore. I didn't know there was a backside too.
They have 2 first downs or 1?
2.
They're both.
Got one on the
rushing, one was a rushing,
one rush, and one on the touchdown. Now, did you know that on the extra point, if you're running or kicking, or if you're running or passing, that doesn't count stance?
Oh, no.
I didn't know it either until I heard it on. I heard it in a college game, and they said that no, in high school, college, and professional, that's a rule they got rid of.
Receives the Bulldogs, number 5, Gary Walston, number 19, Brock Limmer.
6-play drive, took 2 minutes and 4 seconds, and ended in a 66-yard strike from Harrison Westover to Ben Fuel to give Richland a 7-0 lead. Ball teed by the right-footed kicker Michael Paramore. The senior is set to kick it away. And it's a short chipped kick over towards the Richland sideline, dropped but out of bounds.
Wow.
Hermiston will have it on the sideline, but they touched it on the miss by McCamey. So Hermiston will start with the ball on the 36-yard line, trailing 7-0. And we get a chance here to get the first look at the quarterback, Sam Schwarzy. Third quarterback in for Hermiston.
Justin is at center, like as we heard he was going to start at, and this is going to be the big key, how quickly that we get this push on the offensive line to start this game out. If Richland takes control right off the bat, it could be a long night.
Schwarzy, the junior, has his back. Daniel Faite to his right shoulder on first down and 10. He will turn and hand off to Faite. Left side run. Faite's got some space across the 40 outside the numbers up to the 44-yard line, picking up 8 on the first run.
Yeah, that time a nice job. Tackled out there by Aiden Storms. Good job by Faite going ahead and sidestepping one time and taking the run right off left tackle.
Second down and 2, and the receiver options, 3 of them are to the right in a bunch formation. Faite to the right of Schwarzy. Play clock down below 10. Hand off to Faite up the middle. First down yardage. He's just short of the midfield stripe. In fact, with the push, they'll get him to the 49, but there's a flag out from the umpire right where the tackle was taking place.
Now, I don't know what that is. If it's against Hermiston. Yeah,
it was kind of in that face mask area.
Yeah, but they threw it right on top of Dustin, and Dustin absolutely just pancaked the guy that he was covering up there.
5-yard penalty moves it into Richland territory to the 46-yard line.
Faitete's looking good right now. Running, it doesn't look like that knee's bothering him at all, and he's got a lot of confidence going straight north-south.
First down and 10, left hash mark. Motion man Wagner right to left. He'll go past Schwarzy, slaps his hands, throws it out left flat to Wagner. Wagner catches it and is shoved out of bounds. Pushed out on the far sideline into sea of white shorts.
Josh White out there on the stop for Richland. That was a nice little play, 4-yard pickup, but 3-yard pickup, and it's just a good job. That time Schwarzy got it out nice and quick and clean.
Backwards pass, so we don't get to call it his first completion of the game yet. A second down and 7 from the 43-yard line. Still on the left hash mark for Schwarzy. The back's to his right. Now he'll move Faitete to his left. 8:45 on the clock. Bulldogs down by a touchdown. Welch, high snap over the head of Schwarzy, who goes back and falls on top of it.
Oh, that should be a penalty right there.
Well, as he had the ball, the defensive tackle, Caden James, came in and slid and hit into Schwarzy.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty on the defense that time. Once he's already on the ground and the ball is dead like that, they cannot. And he didn't slide. He actually made the good hit on him with the body.
So 16 yards backwards. Third down and 21. Don't have a whole lot of these. Blitz coming from the near side. Handoff of the delay to Faitete into the open field. Breaks 1, breaks 2, gets back to the midfield stripe. Picks up 12, but needed a country mile. So 4th down and long. Hermiston will have to run the punt team out. Faitete with 26 yards of rushing in the first drive of this game.
See, and this is one thing that Hermiston, as well as Richland, have to do. There's your starting receiver. They just scored the touchdown, having to make that tough stop, fuel, on that run by Faitete.
The punt from Wagner is away, kind of a low wobbler, bounces at the 20. And returns it about 3 yards to the 15-yard line. Richland's got a long field in front of them as they lead 7-0 with 7:14 on the clock in the first quarter.
Looked like Crafton in on the stop that time, as well as a couple of other guys. We'll credit Crafton with the tackle.
First down and 10 for the Bombers. Harrison Westover has got 2 in the backfield. Davis Copeland takes the handoff, running left, jump steps back to his right into the traffic and is pulled down. Arnold finishes the tackle, but for Hermiston, leading the way in there on that stop was McCamey.
Nice job by McCamey coming in and making the hard hit down up underneath, and anytime you can get that much help afterwards, and Arnold gives himself an assist that time.
5-yard gain up to the 20-yard line, second down and 5. Just Stewart in the backfield. Flip it out to him in the right flat. He's got it with some space outside the numbers. First down yardage up across the 30-yard line. And he's pulled down by Brock Remmer.
Nice job that time. Unfortunately, that's whenever you get into that kind of territory out there, then you start to hurt yourself, because 5-6 yards out of whack, and now you're first downs all over the place.
10-yard gain, and it's a first down for Richland. First down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Handoff in traffic. Stewart with some problems. Flag out as Stewart fights forward, breaks a tackle, and gets extra effort up to the 37-yard line. 70-yard game, but we're going to check on the marker here. Richland's already been penalized twice, and this is in that vicinity of holding. And they're already marching backwards, so it is going to be a holding penalty against the Bombers.
That time again, Stewart and Cardenas get the joint tackle that time, both hitting him at the same time, holding him for a minimum amount of gain.
The loss brings the ball back to the 21-yard line as Richland's got the first down play again. New to Kennison Field this year. Got to add the play clocks, especially with the new 40-25 rule.
This is huge for Hermiston. Hermiston's got to put some sew this up
play
a little
action
bit.
Throws open behind everybody. A foot race for Dawson Palm. He's into the clear. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 79 yards, and he just ran past everybody.
He ran past everybody, and again, you know, we have got to stop giving up our cushion. We're coming up and we're taking that first fake and we're biting on it and allowing that defensive player to get into our cushion, you know, that offense player to get into the defensive player's cushion. We can't have that. That is so very hard to make up ground, and especially we already knew that Richland had some speed on their receivers and their running back.
5:52 on the clock. The kick on the extra point from Joseph Weisenfels is up and true, and it's a 14-0 lead for the Richland Bombers. On the Ranch and Home scoreboard, the freshman game that preceded this one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that was all Richland, 54-0 the final score. Obviously, Richland has landed the opening couple of punches here in a combo, and Sonny, they've both been deep passes. Again, last week the defense played well and busted a couple of times on deep balls. Early in this game, I thought the defense has done its job. They've been side to side really quickly, but two deep balls, and that's the difference in the contest.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and you know it's things that you know they've got to figure it out, Eric. The coaches can't figure it out for them. They've got to be able to figure out what in the world is happening in their world out there, and once they can figure out what's going on in their world, like I said, you cannot let an offensive receiver, especially one that you prepared for all week, allow them into your cushion for that safety. You can always come back after a ball to catch on the catch, but once they get over the top, you've got to be really fast to make that ground up.
Another short kick over towards the sideline on the Richland side. Fair catch called for by Kaimakami, and that is where Hermiston will have it at the 32-yard line where he parked under it and caught it. Hermiston's offense has got to get things going, trailing 14-0 here just past the halfway point of the first quarter.
You know, and that's, again, we were able to go ahead and move the football a couple of times and then stalled ourselves out. We have got to go ahead and get this going now, because being down 14-0, we cannot afford to give it up again. There's a
movement,
penalty.
And a penalty flag comes out for the near sideline on first down and 10. Hermiston is indicating that is also going to go against the Richland Bombers for encroachment. That's the indication. So Richland, 4 penalties for 30 yards at the start of this game. And Hermiston's going to see if they can capitalize on things. Down 14-0 with 5:52 on the clock in the quarter.
That's the nice thing that Hermiston's been able to do, is develop that hard count.
Sam Schwarzy takes a snap, turns hands off to Faitete as he fakes a throw. Big hole up the middle. Faitete into Richland territory as he runs all the way down to the 47-yard line. First down yardage for Faitete on a 15-yard run.
Touchdown saving tackle that time by Richland's Jordan Lai. Faitete made the cut. I think if he would have stayed to the outside, he may have been able to get that corner.
Quick throw out into the right flat from Schwarzy. It will go as his first completion. However, it'll go as a loss of 2 yards to Faitete on the pass.
Yeah, that time the defender stepped inside of Garrett Walshley, who was trying to get that little bubble screen block for him, and the Richland defender was able to go ahead and pick it up off of him.
Bunch of 3 receivers to the left for Schwarzy. Faitete moving back and forth. Dosido back behind his shoulder. Remember the lone receiver right. They're going to throw it that way. Check that. This is Pitney. Pitney's got a spin move, and he'll be shoved out of bounds around the 43-yard line. Trent Pitney, the senior receiver, he and Brock Remmer each stand 6 feet 2 inches tall. So Schwarzy's completion moves the ball up to the 43. That's good for a 70-yard gain.
And there's another one of the guys going both ways. Marshawn Davis Copeland going both ways. So this is going to aid to Hermiston a little bit.
Handoff and a run. And this is Wagner. And Wagner runs.
Little
did
dump
he get
pass.
there? He did.
Little dump pass over the middle. That's that little pass I was talking about, Eric, where we just get it in. It just happened that he got it right at the marker for about a 5-yard gain on the little pass over the top.
First down 10 from the 32. Hard count from Schwarzy. He'll take the snap, hand it off.
Nice
left side
run.
run by Tete's got a whole flag out on the plays. He's tripped up just across the 30-yard line, somersaults down to the 27. This one's coming backwards.
Yeah, Dawson Palm absolutely had to roll over underneath the top, underneath the bottom of Faitete, but unfortunately, I believe it was the right guard that got hit on the hold, or actually the tackle himself, as Faitete made that cut. Hermiston's blowing some big holes out here for Faitete, doing an excellent job. They just got to stop shooting themselves in the foot now. I mean, gaining 10 and then giving 10 back throughout the whole night, or actually it's almost
more than 10 in this case, because it moves all the way back to the 49.
12-yard loss on the play, and you can't keep doing that kind of thing.
First down and a lot. Schwarzy to throw over the middle, batted down. It was the defensive tackle who was locked up with Dustin Coughlin, who got his hand up and slapped that ball down.
Yeah, it looked like they were
eating. Samuel Stanifeld.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to get it back to Wagner again, just on that little underneath hook. And Staniford got himself in a position where he can knock that ball away.
Now second down. Walshley in motion. Toss it to him. Left side sweep. Walshley gets out to the edge. Misses another man. And then is going to step out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Picks up 4 yards on the rush.
Nice little job that time. And was able to get Nathan Seaholm on the tackle. But good job by Walshley to go ahead and jump stop and make him miss on the first time. Still got an awful long way to go, though, to get that first down.
Brock Remmer wide left, 3 receiver options right on third down at 18. Faitete moves to the right shoulder of Sam Schwarzy. The junior quarterback has the snap, looking right. Pull it down, try to run, caught from behind and dumped right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a tackle, maybe a loss of a half yard. Josh White is the linebacker who chased down Schwarzy. It'll force the punt team out with under 3.5 minutes remaining in quarter number 1 at a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, that time there, White briefly, Schwarzy had a man open just briefly on the sideline, but White flushed him out and came in and got a hold of him.
Wagner to punt. The punt to the left, fair catch called for and hauled in by Ben Kostarowski. Kostarowski catches it at the 17-yard line.
32-yard pickup that time.
Was it 32 or was it 27?
Yeah, it was from the 49 down to the 17. Nice job that time by Wagner.
All right, so Richland's got the 14-0 lead with 3:01 left in the first quarter. It's been a couple of, the defense calls them yo babies.
Yeah.
You just throw it downfield and go, yo baby, catch it. Well, for Westover, it's worked twice.
Yeah.
The senior quarterback, play action. He's rolling to the right. They're going to yo baby again. Deep downfield, this time incompletion, but the flag is out. Garrett Walshley just shoved down Ben Kostarowski.
Yeah, that's when you're beat like that. You know, you've got is there a second flag down or? No, that's just something in the middle of the field there. But when you're beat that bad, you know, the old school football was if you're beaten and they can go for 7, then you go ahead and pull the guy or do whatever you've got to do to stop the play. You just don't give up the long bomb to go ahead and let them play all night in our end of the field. One of these times we got to stop this and flip the field to a shorter field so we can go ahead and take over.
On a Wrench and Home scoreboard at the end of the first quarter at Henderson Stadium, Pendleton a 14-6 lead against the Hood River Valley Eagles. 14-0 here with 2:54 left in the first quarter. First down and 10 after the penalty. Line of scrimmage at the 32. Westover turns and hands off, run up the middle, breaking a tackle. Stewart's got a big hole. He's across the top of a Hermiston defender as he hurtled over the top of... who is that? That's Riley Clark. Riley Clark is going to get credit for the tackle as Stewart jumped over the top of him and fell forward to the 49, getting the first down yardage.
It's good when you can go ahead and get in the middle of their legs, you know, and trip them up.
17-yard gain. Westover turns, hands off. This time it is going to be a run to the right side for Davis Copeland.
That time in on the tackle, Garrett Walshley puts him away early, but still that's a 7-yard pickup. Hermiston's just getting beat off the ball right now on the line. They've got to figure out something that they want to go ahead and either get some pressure or maybe make a little bit of a change on that defensive line.
Second down and 4 from the 45 at Hermiston territory. Davis Copeland, nice hesitation move, gets the first down yardage, running down the right hash mark to the Hermiston 38-yard line, picking up 7 on back-to-back carries.
Yeah, and another job that time. Nice job that time. Unfortunately, that far out by Sean Stewart. Stewart having a nice night. Unfortunately, he's having to go ahead and loop around from his right side to the left side to make the stop, 6 and 7 yards deep, and that's not good for if you're a defensive lineman.
First down yardage for the Bombers from the 38 to throw. Westover rolling left, lobs it to the left sideline, knocked out of the hands of Caden Roxburgh. Defense on the play is applied for Hermiston by DJ Wilson.
Nice job.
He was one of the guys who was also a little bit sore after week 1, and they've been nursing him back to being able to play tonight.
Yeah, and understood because he had a pretty big game over in Pasco. He was in on an awful lot of hits. Unfortunately, when he was making the hits, it was in on the big players on the middle of that Pasco line.
Westover turns, hands off. Davis Copeland running to the right side. He'll get out to the edge. Jump stop and be pushed out of bounds. Shoved out at about the 32-yard line. Looks like he gained 6.
So he just threw a penalty flag on something. I don't know what it was.
Penalty.
Sean Stewart again on the hit. Knockout. He's right on the sideline. They can't call, if he's dancing on the sideline, they can't call him for a hit on the sideline.
There's a little bit of a conversation over there before they make a determination.
They sure did.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, 5-0 on the defense.
That was not right. That's not a right call. That is not a right call. He was still towing that he was in bounds. I got my field glasses, Eric. I could tell where he was at. He was a yard inside the football field there when Stewart hit him.
Well, the penalty moves it down to the 12. Excuse me, this 17.
What is it, our 5th or 6th penalty already?
Actually, only the 3rd on Hermiston. 3 on Hermiston, 4 on Richland. First down and 10. From the 17, 2 of the backfield. Westover handoff. Davis Copeland running to the right side, and Davis Copeland will run out of bounds after picking up another 5 yards.
Yeah, nice job that time. Nathan Wheeler getting the push on the outside, but still, I mean, we're not stopping and containing on that outside. A holding penalty on, got a holding penalty on Richland, Eric. But either way, we're not getting the seal the seal containment out there, and they're getting tons of yards off of outside.
10 yards from that spot. Replay first down.
So it'll
go down as a no yards rush.
It'll erase Davis Copeland's efforts and move it back at 10. So the penalty flag giveth and the penalty flag taketh away with 1:09 left in the first quarter. Richland looking to add on to a 14-0 lead. Westover pistol set with Davis Copeland standing behind him. Now he'll move up to just a step behind him to the left. Receivers 2 to the left looking that way. Throw it into the flat for Davis Copeland. He gets away from one Hermiston tackler and then is pulled down. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage before Stewart gets to him.
Nice job that time reading that little naked screen. They faked the ball over there to Fuel on the right side, came back to the naked screen on the left, and Stewart was waiting for him out there.
Still 7 of 8, 173 yards, 2 touchdown passes for Westover, almost to the end of the first quarter. Half minute left, 2nd down and long. Westover to throw near sideline. Comeback route is caught by Matt Robinson. And Robinson is hauled down at the 20-yard line
by Clark
for a gain of 7.
Riley Clark in on the tackle again for a nice solo, but another big gain for Richland at the end of the first quarter.
That'll bring us to the end of the first. Richland 14, Hermiston nothing. Here in Hermiston at Kennison Field on Bulldog Stadium. Tonight, you're listening to The Action. We'll be back with the second quarter when we return on AM 1360 KOHU.
This doesn't make sense. It made sense before the game started. Everything's going on without me. I really didn't have it.
You want to try? Give her the defense and let her try that.
The what?
I'm good. I'll track.
Okay.
Because this is letting you analyze. It's
okay, that's defense now. On every time we call a tackle, I'll show you through this series here.
Okay.
So this is the players' numbers here. 1 to 90. We don't have 90 out there, but if they get a tackle, it's a T. Assist, it's an assist. A B is a batted ball. Well, that's not what it shows down here, but it's a pass defense, actually. So I'll put...
all right. Second quarter on Kennison Field. It's a 14-0 lead for the Richland Bombers, and they are facing a 3rd down and long, but in Hermiston territory, trying to add on to the 2-touchdown advantage. Couple of deep balls from the hands of Harrison Westover. The first one to Ben Fuel for 66 yards on the opening drive. Dawson Palm on the first play of the next drive. That's the lead. 180 yards passing of 8 of 9 completions for Westover in the first quarter. And Hermiston's got themselves a bit of a hole to try to dig out of. Both teams with some penalties racked up. Richland's have been a little bit more penalized. 5 penalties for 40 yards at this point, but they do have 7 first down to Hermiston's 3.
And Eric, I would look for right now. They're bringing Palm is up underneath. Watch for that little bubble up underneath.
Stewart is the back. Play action. They look to throw. They will dump it underneath to the right side. Little bit of space. Out of bounds by Walshley, and there's a flag out on the play.
So the only thing I can think of is it might have been a crackback block, Eric.
I expect it's holding on that receiver out there on that side.
I would think so, but
holding is the penalty indicated against Richland, so Fuel's catch will go for naught.
Take the tackle back away from Walshley on the outside.
10 yards in that spot. Replay, third down.
But they're still so far deep in our territory. That time there, it looked like from the way they're going to alignment, they went that little fly sweep screen up underneath. Side, all 3 big receivers that have caught big passes.
I wonder, however, it did not look like that the running back was top of the intended receiver, Matt Robinson. It sure didn't look like that Stewart had come to a stop there in the backfield.
No, and that should have been an offensive pass interference that time. He, the receiver back there.
So they will go for it on 4th down and 16 from the 18. Snap. Westover goes deep. Other side of the field.
Nice
and is tipped away. Coverage on the entire.
Pass is broken up. Bulldogs will take over on downs. 1st and 10. That's a 23-yard line.
Deflection out there. Great job of getting out there and finding the football. That was the biggest thing that Hermiston so far has not been able to do, is find the football on the long pass play. 2 plays in a row now, we've been able to do that. If we can continue to do that, we can change this game around.
Little more than a half minute in, 14-0 lead for Richland. 1st down and 10 from the 23 for Hermiston after the turnover on downs. Sam Schwarzy has Daniel Faietete to his left shoulder. And he has a hard count, and Richland jumps offside. They'll give another 5 yards to the Bulldogs on their 7th penalty of the night.
Nice job again, like I said earlier, Hermiston has done a very fine job through the last few years of really developing that hard count or the hard cadence and changing it and getting teams to jump off sides. That's a good way to start, get them back in 1st and 5 yards.
H-back right, Faietete to the left of Schwarzy. Walshley in the slot right. Outside of him, Pitney right. Remmer is alone to the left, the short side of the field with the ball in the left hash mark. Schwarzy, long count. He's got 3 seconds on the play clock. Got to go. Takes a snap right at 1 second. Hands off to Faietete. Trouble in the backfield.
Daniel Faietete on the carry. Tackle for loss. On the play for the Bombers, number 24.
Josh White, he just came in there. Once we started shuffling around back there, we would have been better off to call a timeout and reset, because we were trying to rush and no way were we ready for that thing. The offensive line was way out of whack.
1 minute into the second quarter. 2nd down and 8 for Hermiston from the 25. Formation stays the same. Faitete to the left of Schwarzy, who takes the snap, and Faitete running right takes the handoff.
Nice
Has a big hole, and he jumps forward to the 35.
Tete. That's the 35. Good for the first 10.
Aiden Storms for about 4 yards.
First down and 10 at the 35. Schwarzy slaps his hands together. Play action. Throws out of the right flat for Walshley. Walshley has some space at the 40. 45 across midfield. Spins off of a tackler and all the way down to Richland 44-yard line.
Davis Copeland on the stop that time. Lucky he didn't get picked up for a face mask, but his forearm ended up sliding around and going down in over his face mask and saving the call there. Walshley, very quick scat back type, is able to get into that defensive backfield quickly.
21-yard gain. And for Hermiston, their 5th first down of the contest. First down and 10. Throw it out in the left flat. Faitete has it there, but he's in trouble. Dropped immediately by Elijah Rodriguez.
Richland. White is just huge at that defensive end or defensive tackle position, and to be able to go ahead, and that's got to be a lot cleaner pass play than that.
Minus 4 yards, second down and 11 now. A little more than 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Hermiston still trailing by 2 touchdowns. Schwarzy has the snap high over his head. He tipped it, he runs backwards, he dives on top of it, and Hermiston will go back into their territory, losing.
As Coach Faitete and Coach Mosier always say, we've never had a problem having a tall quarterback since they've been here, and we need to have somebody that is over 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", to be able to catch up to that ball, especially when it's rocketed back like that.
Third down and a country mile from the 38-yard line. They got to get to the 34 in Richland territory. They don't have a play for that. Schwarzy's in trouble trying to set up a screen. Does complete it to Faitete. Faitete is going to be dropped.
It just took way too long. Too much pressure, number one. It was a good thing. It was supposed to be on a little bit of a screenplay that time. But took way too long to get it out, and Caden James was able to go ahead and take care of it.
Wagner to punt, and he will drive it away. Fair catch taken at the 31-yard line. Good punt there for Hermiston. It's going to go for 39 yards?
46.
46 yards, even better. And with 8:13 on the clock of the second quarter, Richland taking the ball back over with the 14-0 lead.
Yeah, that's just the tough thing, though, Eric, is 113 yards in punts, but, you can't have the 113 yards in punts all night long. Eric, you were right. My mistake. One.
Yeah. No, 20, 30, 39. From the 30 to, yeah. Handoff right side, run, and a little bit of space now, even more space for Stewart as Stewart breaks it at the second level. Down the right hash mark and gains 12 going to the right side.
Wagner on the tackle that time again, and that's the tough thing for Wagner. On us.
First down and 10, now at the 43-yard line. A reverse and a flip into the backfield. Fuel is in trouble, tries to switch his field, coming back to the right. Fuel working to get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll not get there. They fight and fight and fight it. Into ended up being an end around. They didn't actually hand it off. It was a play action to Stewart, and then Fuel.
And a nice
then was in trouble.
He had a 16-yard. DJ Wilson again on the carry. He stayed at home, was able to corral him. Missed the first tackle for a big loss, and DJ was able to contain
Empty
him.
backfield, 4 to the left side, throw to the right, one man there. That's Fuel. He catches at midfield, makes a man miss. He's at the 40, down the near sideline, breaks another tackle to 35, and he's out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line. Good for the first and 10.
Who's a right side linebacker coming to make that play on the near sideline for Hermiston.
Check that. Let's make it a 42-yard pass. And that moves Westover over 200 yards for the night on his 12th pass of the game. 9 for 12, 222 yards. Fuel's now over 100 yards receiving. First down and 10 from the 25 in Hermiston territory. Play action, throw left, out on the flat that way. It is caught. And the reception in the flat was pulled in by Kostarowski.
Clark again, that time fairly good coverage out there. Catch-up football with him. You know, that's the one bad thing with giving a little bit of a cushion. You play catch-up, but you don't give up the big play either.
Second down and 4 after the 6-yard gain. Davis Copeland is in the backfield to the right shoulder. Copeland takes a handoff, looking left, jump stops back to his right. He'll put his shoulder down and get just across the 15-yard line. It's a
time in on the tackle to go ahead and stop. So they are starting to go ahead and make some changes on that defensive interior line as we go, getting Dustin some playing time. Dustin got his stop, pulled him down from behind, and then a slew of others came in.
No, it's terrible. Really? It was better here.
First and 10 from the 15. Play action, throw right side and off of the hand. Complete in the end zone. Rimmer, I don't think he expected it.
No. Yeah, I mean it hit both hands, and what did they say? He got hit in the wrong place, in the hands. And that would have been hard. That would have been tough for Brock to go ahead and, if he would have pulled it in, for him to turn it around and get it out of the end zone. So he probably did the smart thing and didn't pull it in.
I mean, touchback.
That's true if he just would have stayed there, but there's fourth down again.
Second down and 10 from the 15. Stewart takes a handoff running left. Trouble there. Coughlin's got him in the backfield.
As long as you don't do it, so like everything's got to just be real. Like on that one, I probably should have zoomed in softly, but I was.
County Stewart.
The tough thing about.
Tackle for a loss in the backfield, number 77.
Close up that play, though. He got out, cut off the edge, and forced Stewart back towards everybody else for the loss of a yard.
Yeah, that Hermiston defensive line now is not the same one we started with. That is a big defensive line playing within there.
Empty backfield on third down and 11 from the 16 to throw right side. Caught at the 10-yard line and ridden down
by Arnold
to
again.
The 6 will be Fuel. Another catch for him. Gain of 10, not quite enough.
Alright, you got it? Yeah. See?
Up 14-0 with 4 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in.
They brought in some pretty good sized kids.
Westover's going to go under center, a fullback into the game. Sam Stanifeld. The 8-man is Stewart, a flag out. This one might have not been before the play clock expired, and so a timeout is called by Richland. With 4:17 left in the second quarter, Richland up 14-0. They'll take the timeout, and we will as well at AM 1360 KOHU. A 4th and 1 facing Richland with 4:17 left in the second quarter, up 14-0. Marshawn Davis Copeland is in the backfield with Westover. Now they will shift. Stewart back to deep man. The fullback in, offset to the right, that's Stanifeld.
Fumble.
And there's a fumble and the ball is loose and there's a pile. Either way, Hermiston's getting
bobbling that ball, and
7-yard line.
Kiana Stewart came in and recovered that ball. Yeah, that was a big break for Hermiston there, and kind of odd, Eric. 2 times in a row, they called the timeout because they're going to run. They set up for a power left, and they run away they run to the weak side. That's what they started to go. And this time they will go ahead and set it up, shift into a power right, and they were going to go for a sneak.
4:12 left in the second quarter. First down and 10 for Hermiston. Richland showing pressure right up the middle. They will bring it on a keeper. No, given to Tete, and he gets a yard running out to the left.
Yeah, that time there, Samuel Sandfield just absolutely lit Daniel up after he hit the hole and got a yard out of it. That time, Richland beat Hermiston to the punch on the line that time. Hermiston stood up just a little bit.
Second down and 9. Tete will be to the right as Schwarzy gets himself settled in. 14-0 Richland lead. Play action. Throw out to the right side. Catch there by Wagner. Up to the 15. Get him to the 16-yard line. And a gain of 7.
Yeah, that time there. Nice little dump off, and they had Elijah Rodriguez in on the tackle. Wagner, if he had just been able to go ahead and get that shoulder up underneath that first tackle, would have had a lot of yards right up the middle.
3rd and 1. Schwarzy to throw, right side, a little bit low and incomplete.
Incomplete, yeah.
Trying to get it to Walshley, and Walshley not able to dig it out of the turf. So 4th down and 1, and Hermiston's got to punt it away. Under 3 minutes remaining. 2:59 left in the second quarter at a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, that's unfortunately for Hermiston. That unfortunately both sides, whether it was into the dirt or whether it was covered well, it was not going to pick up the first down.
Wagner's got a punt with this ball. His feet right on the goal line. Wagner is hit as it's away, flag out. The ball is going to bounce at the 45 and roll up near midfield, where Pitney picks it up at the 51. Doesn't matter if it's a 5-yard or if it's a 15-yard on the contact with Wagner. Hermiston's getting a first down on the 8th penalty on Richland tonight.
Yeah, big play, big job by Wagner to be at him. It was a 35-yard kick in the first place, but it was just a great job of being able to stay in there and take that hit. And nice job. First down, Hermiston.
They said it was running into the kicker, so it's only the 5-yard variety. That moves it out to the 21-yard line. Hermiston, just their 6th first down here in quarter number 2. Well, in the first half, actually. First down and 10.
Richland making some changes
to the left. Now there's a pause here, and I think we're going to get another timeout. This will be a timeout charge to the Richland Bombers with 2:48 left in the second quarter and a 14-0 lead for them. So after Richland threw that combo, the 2 big plays, Hermiston's defense has really settled in. The offense is still trying to figure out how to get its footing.
Yeah, one thing about it is that Schwarzy not being back there, and everything, and maybe the wing not being in the type of shape it should be, but it looks like Schwarzy, number one, is starting to take a little bit of control of this offense, to get it in a position where he can do it. But he's rushing his throw, trying to get it out there and pulling the tip of the ball down on the end of it. So he's just got to get it out there a little bit quicker, but get it up in about the at least a 5-foot high level. And but again, Richland had that last play played absolutely perfectly. It was not going to be a first down, whether we completed it or not. Now it's just a situation where we've got to absolutely go after this thing and try and get some points on the board.
Hermiston has made a change as well. Mike Mosier's down on the field right now.
Okay.
Rick Wells is up top. First down and 10. Sam Schwarzy with the back to his right. Now he's going to put a man in motion right to left. Wagner out into the left flat. Tate takes a handoff running left side. He's got a hole behind Bradshaw out across the 25 to the 27-yard line where he's pulled down by Josh White.
Nice job that time by Tate. It was a good run, just good hard rushing.
70-yard carry. His 9th carry of the night for 53 yards. Second down and 3. Quick throw out into the right flat. It is caught out there, but there's not really anywhere for Wagner to go, and he will lose yardage.
Elijah Rodriguez out there just reading that too quick, Eric. We got to go to a different type of a bubble screen or a naked screen out there, because these guys, these outside defensive backs are very, very quick, and they're reading this very well. We stopped going to that little inside hook across the middle and started going to these bubbles, and they're just too quick to do that with.
Pitney to the right, 3 receivers left, and now Tate will go that way as well. Throw over to Pitney, past him, fastball incomplete.
Yeah, again, that was going to go for a no gain. They are just reacting so well out there on that other side. It was that time it was Copeland that just jumped the pattern so quickly out there.
Minute and 30 seconds remaining in the first half. 14-0 is the lead. And Wagner's got a punt again for Hermiston. He'll stand at his 10. Takes the snap, gets it away, and this one is going to be a little bit short. Bounce at midfield and roll and roll and roll. And is picked up and now returning it. Breaking 1, breaking 2, back near midfield. That is where the returner, Ben Kostarowski, is going to be pulled down. He ends up turning that into a return of almost 10 yards.
Tyson Stalker on the
bounce.
Yeah, Tyson Stalker on the tackle. 37 yards on the kick and a 10-yard return on it.
Richland has all 3 of their... No, that is not correct. Richland has 1 timeout remaining.
1 timeout left. Is everybody
Somebody's going to be razzed during halftime in the next box. but the names will be protected, Tony. First down and 10 from the 49 on the Richland side of midfield. Westover near sideline looking for fuel, hand fighting, and he will go up and catch it over the top of Remmer's shoulder down to the 22-yard line. 29-yard gain on the pass, and Fuel has got over 150 yards.
See, and that's where you can't do it. You just can't run with him. If he looks back, he can't try and look. That time there he tried to look like that. Turn your head so you turn your shoulders. You already know that he's out.
Quick pass over to the left flat, caught by Stewart. And Stewart gets nothing. There's no gain on that one. Second down and 1.
Sapani on the tackle that time.
Second down and 10 from the 22. Play action. Stewart over the middle, too tall. Wilson on the coverage intended for Roxborough, but it's too tall. Incomplete.
But, you know, we had a little bit better coverage that time, but we're still allowing him to get that step to go ahead and take us into the middle like that.
They're going to make it 47.5 on the clock. Third down and 10 from the 22. Left hash mark set. Richland trying to get one more score here before halftime. Up 14-0. Westover looking left. He'll throw it that way. Come back past to Fuel, who's bumped out of bounds at the 10 after a 12-yard gain. Sixth catch of the night for Fuel.
Riley Clark on the catch again, tackle again. He's got 4 tackles on the night, but unfortunately these are all positive yards that Hermiston's got to try and maybe take a little bit of a gamble and try and step inside of one of these. Even that ball there was in the air for quite a long time.
Westover, first down and 10, hands off. Davis Copeland slips and he falls down right on top of the line of scrimmage at the 10-yard line. He had a big hole running left.
Boy, he did. It was huge, and it was in for 6. It slid down, and unfortunately Ryan Arnold won't get any credit for any tackles there, but he was right there. He would still been trying to chase him.
Play action, throw right side, jump ball, tipped away. Looking to get it to Kostarowski, and right there the tall man, Remmer, was able to get a hand on it.
Nice job there for the pass deflection there. They've got to go ahead and get a couple more play defenses here, because it is 4-down territory definitely for Richland, especially with down to 18.8.
Third down and goal. Richland does have that one timeout, so they could run it here if you are assuming you've got 2 plays. Up 14-0. I also wonder if maybe
that's an illegal substitution.
Mike Neidold would like to.
He called timeout. That should have been an illegal substitution.
So timeout for Richland would be their last. 18.8, up 14-0. We'll take the break on AM 1360 KOHU. Slant play out of the timeout, caught by Caden Roxborough for a 10-yard touchdown pass, and Richland gets that third score lead before the teams head into the locker room with just 14.3 seconds remaining.
Total breakdown that time, because there were 3 Richland receivers all in the area that could have caught that pass for the touchdown.
The kick is up, and it is cleanly through as well for Joseph Weisenfels. The sophomore is 3 for 3 on his extra points, and the Richland Bombers are up 21-0 with 14.3 seconds remaining before we head into halftime. And during our Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show, we will have an interview with Troy Blackburn, the head coach of the Hermiston cross country team. To Oregon City they go tomorrow, and we'll run. We talked last Saturday after the Runners Soul Cross Country Fest over at Sandstone Middle School. Girls finished in second place as a team. The boys finished in 5th place, and they know that they are chasing the teams from Kennewick, who had good days as well over there. The Kennewick girls winning. Kennewick boys finished ahead, but in that boys race actually was one of the schools from Yakima who finished up on top. We'll also get you some updates that we've got from around the area. Another check-in at Henderson Stadium in Hood River, where Pendleton is playing the Hood River Valley Eagles. Try to see what's going on over in the state capital. Umatilla is taking on Salem Academy. And we will also take a brief check-in to Athena from last night, where West and McEwen were winners against the Irrigan Knights in week 2. That's all on your Ranch and Home scoreboard. And all that type of information is coming your way in just a moment or two on the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show. The kick is again angled over towards the Hermiston sideline. This one's got to bounce, and Richland's got to fall on top of it.
What were we thinking?
At the 36-yard line, nobody comes up, and Elijah Rodriguez recovers the chipped kick. And Richland, with 13.3 seconds. They don't have any timeouts, but they got a chance to take a couple of cracks at the end zone.
My, oh my, that's a huge mistake.
Growing pains for this 2019 Hermiston team. Youth becomes ever more prevalent each time somebody takes a knock, takes an injury. Assuming that Richland's going to take a shot or two at the end zone. First down and 10 from the 36. Westover to throw over the middle. Interception. Walshley coming the other direction. And he's got some space at the 35. Far sideline 40. Now into Richland territory at the 50. 40, 35, 30. 25 breaks a tackle to 20. And he will step out of bounds. But that is also the end of the half. Kickoff returned all the way to the 20-yard line. Garrett Walshley, big return, but his return is all for naught as Hermiston trails 21-0 as the teams head into the locker room for the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show. We're back in 2 minutes here on AM 1360 KOHU.
Was it a 60-yard? Was it intercepted at the 10?
I thought it was intercepted at...
Do we have to film the girls?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, get out of the way.
No. 70.
That's right. I thought it was too.
Marching band is proud to present to you the first movement of their 2019 show, You Roverus. You Roverus is based on the ubiquitous ancient symbol of a snake eating its own tail, signifying the cycle of life. From birth to death, and from the death to rebirth. In the first movement of the show, you will see a representation of the beginnings of life, all of its struggles and victories.
can be awarded a state title. In fact, it happened in the very first year. Individual title as well for Jocelyn Romero in that javelin throw in the 3A state track meet last spring. Take a look at a couple of scores here on the Ranch and Home scoreboard early on. It's a 21-0 lead for Kamayakan at the half against Southridge. This is at Lamson. And the Umatilla Vikings have a 12-0 lead over Salem Academy on the road as they get set to start the second half. The halftime score in Hood River, it's the Eagles trailing the Pendleton Buckaroos 35-14. 21-0 here, and Sonny, it was a couple of big plays early, and then the last ditch effort late for Richland to score on that 10-yard slant play to take the 21-0 lead into the locker room. Hermiston's defense has kind of been ups and downs roller coaster. Offensively, just haven't been able to find the way to stretch the field.
No, and we're running those long outside patterns where we had success, and Richland was not able to stop us on that. Was that up underneath, you run that little crossing pattern from your H-back off the whatever side, right or left side, and just into that 5 to 7 yard range right in the middle. And well, they read what the receivers are doing very well, and they don't miss very often on their tackles. So Hermiston, I would look for them to come back inside, try and go back over the top again, over the middle. Don't, not for the home run ball. We haven't seen where Schwartz has been able to throw it deep yet, but he might have something left in his tank that he can get it out there deep, but even 7 yards every pop, like I said. 2 passes, 14 yards, you got a first down. You just keep doing it until they take it away from you, and that will loosen up those outside defenders.
Big play for Hermiston at the very end of the first half. The Garrett Walshley interception returned 65 yards, but shoved out at the 20 with no time on the clock, so Hermiston didn't have a chance to either try to have Wagner kick what would have been about a 37-yard field goal or to take a shot at the end zone. First half numbers for the Richland Bombers, it's what Harrison Westover has been able to do. 14 of 19 for 289 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Ben Fuel has 6 of those catches for 168 yards. Marshawn Davis Copeland's caught 5 balls out of the backfield for just 22 yards. Dawson Palm had the 79-yard touchdown pass, and then the 10-yard touchdown pass that was completed to Caden Roxburgh at the end of the first half to give the Richland Bombers the 21-0 lead. A total of 11 first downs for Richland. They were penalized 8 times in the first half and racked up a total of 60 yards on the ground. Marshawn Copeland, 25 yards on 6 carries, and Keona Stewart, Kai Stewart as they call him, 5 carries and 25 yards for him. Ben Fuel's got -5 on the one end around that they tried to him. Westover hasn't been touched in the backfield, so he has kept himself clean on the field turf, and that means that Richland 45 yards rushing, 289 yards through the air, 334 total in the first half.
Wow.
Sam Schwarzy tried 10 times, and he ended up completing 7 of them for 37 yards in the first half. Wagner 3 times for 9, 21 yards to the one he did connect to Walshley on that was considered a forward pass as opposed to a backwards pass.
Yep.
On the ground, Daniel Faitete, 9 carries, 53 yards. There's nothing to turn your nose up at.
No, good night.
But Hermiston, 31 on the ground, 37 in the air, 68 total yards. The offense is stalled, to say the least. So, they got 2 quarters left to try to change things around, and Hermiston does start with the possession as the Bulldogs have Brock Remmer back deep to the right. And Trent Pitney back deep to the left. Although there's another squibbed kick over to the right side. Fair caught and take it at the 36-yard line. That's where Hermiston's offense will take over, trailing by 3 scores.
Yeah, that time there, that was the smart thing to do. It was Wheeler that went ahead and got the fair catch to make sure it was down there.
All right, so first down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Faitete is to the left of Schwarzy. 2 receivers make that 3 to the left. Now a man in motion, left to right is Wagner. High snap over the top of Schwarzy's head. Faitete will dive back onto it. Around the 23-yard line is where they will charitably mark it. But it's still a loss of 14.
Yeah, everybody's starting to drag their heads just a little bit. They need to just go ahead and pick themselves back up and dust themselves off. That happens a little bit, but awful tough with Daniel, where he was a positive yardage guy, just takes a hit for about 18.
Second down and long to throw. Schwarzy steps up, dumps it underneath, and Fuel is able to step up and drop Wagner immediately.
Yeah, those are taking way too much time. They need to run to the center of the field because they got their backfield. Hermiston's got their backfield pulling those linebackers out of position. H-back opposite side, curl right up underneath where they leave, and it's an easy, quick pass.
Third down and 21. A play action, throw left side, caught out there on a little bubble screen, and running out of bounds at the 39-yard line is Brock Remmer. Remmer, biggest gain for him, 14 yards. In fact, first gain for him, a 14-yard pitch and catch.
Storms on the catch and pull out of bounds. Nice try by Remmer to try and get it back in, but another Hermiston punt.
So a little more than a minute into the third quarter, 21-0 the Richland lead. And Wagner will punt it away to his 25. High snap over his head. Wagner turns, gets it, kicks it, blocked, picked up by Fuel. Fuel is tackled by Wagner at the 5. Wagner did a great job to go back and pick that high snap up and turn and try to get the kick away. But give credit as well to closing in on him. It looked to me like it was Elijah Rodriguez, who has been spectacular defensively and in special teams for Richland tonight.
Yeah, it appeared that's who it was to me also, Eric, that got himself in a position to go ahead and get that. And great job, like you said, by Wagner to go ahead and try and at least get it away. It just, the big mistake, 3 in a row there by the 2 long snaps over the head, and the block punt now, and Richland's back in business.
Marshawn Davis Copeland is going to take a direct snap, tries to hand it off, fumbles it, drops on top of it, back at the 11-yard line. They're going to lose 6 yards on Copeland's fumble as they went Wildcat. Took Westover off of the field, and Davis Copeland lost the handles.
Awful odd play call whenever you're looking to go for it, and those guys have been so good either on the fly sweep or just on the regular rush, and then you have the direct snap.
Second and goal from the 11. 4 receivers right, looking left, lobs it to Fuel, back shoulder catch in the back of the end zone, and a touchdown for the Bombers. An 11-yard touchdown pass to Ben Fuel. He's got his second TD of the night.
Yeah, that time, once again, we got ourselves caught looking at the receiver and not finding the ball beforehand. If we had a chance to go ahead and knock that ball out of the way.
So Joseph Weisenfeld's on for the extra point. He's perfect 3 for 3. And now he is 4 for 4
Good.
28-0 with 10:07 left in the third quarter. You're listening to Bulldog Football on AM 1360 KOHU. Come on. Just keep holding it. Because it cuts off the sound, and so when there's no sound at all, then he runs a break. He missed this one. What did you want to know? No, the punt is not a lost rushing play. Well, now we're not going to. All right, 10:07 left in the third quarter. 28-0 Richland. As Michael Paramore waits for the ball to kick off. And for the Hermiston Bulldogs. Again, Pitney and Remmer back deep to receive. This is the tallest return duo in my history around Hermiston football. Both of them at 6'2". Usually the guys back there returning are just taller than me.
Yep, back
Although
to Wheeler.
Tonight it doesn't matter too much because it's a chip play again over to the Richland sideline. And Nathan Wheeler catches this one at the 42.
Got it at the 42, yep.
So, this feels like were there some extra whistles there? Did that one actually stay in play when Wheeler caught it, or was it out of play? They are having a quick conversation on whether or not that's procedure or not. I mean, if it's procedure, it only moves up 3 yards.
Yeah, I don't see a flag.
Yeah, no, it's at the 47-yard line on the Richland sideline. There is a flag out. So this is actually in a position where it's probably not offsides. It's probably...
Touch by the receiving team. Out of bounds at the 42. Flag will be placed on 47. First and 10.
Okay, so because it's out at the 42, that's beyond the 35. Like when there's an illegal procedure kick, the ball gets spotted at the 35 for the opposing team. So instead, Richland will just incur a 5-yard penalty.
Yep.
And Hermiston has it. First down and 10 from the 47-yard line. Best field position for them. Down 28-0 with 10:07 left in the third quarter. Daniel Fide-Tete, Sam Schwarzy in the backfield. Schwarzy takes a snap, turns hands, Fide-Tete running left, and he's tripped up. Flying through into the backfield, Aiden Storms, the senior linebacker, makes the tackle for a loss of 1 yard.
Yeah, that time there, he just absolutely blitzed in and got inside of Bradshaw and got lower than Bradshaw and dove in and got the front leg of Tete.
Timeout for Hermiston. Mike Mosier, the first one out there onto the field, frustratedly out onto the field, out to the numbers as the Bulldogs come over. 28-0 is the score line for Hermiston. Next week, the trip is back up to the Tri-Cities. And at Lamson Stadium, they will take on the Kennewick Lions. And if you're Hermiston, I mean, you go into that game hoping they'd either... Sam, it's tough to figure out whether or not Sam's going to be able to heal up more and, feel more comfortable with his arm. But at the same time, is Robert Sloan going to be able to heal up? You wonder if you're going to be able to have a healthy second quarterback with knowing that you're done with Chase Elliott for the season.
Well, watching them in the last couple of days, they also had Spencer Jewell taking some snaps also.
Second down and 11. Play action, throw right side over the middle, caught by Wagner. Cross midfield, he's into Richland territory to the 48-yard line. Flag out on the play.
There'll be a personal foul there.
7-yard gain on the pass play.
Palm on the catch, on the tackle. and then it was one of the Richland linebackers that came in and shoved our receiver in the head.
So Wagner gained 7, and it looks like Richland is going to pick up their 10th penalty of the night.
Yeah, they called that on the one that got really aggressive on the punt, Elijah Rodriguez. And it was a pretty aggressive push to the head after the play was there.
Moves the ball down to the 34-yard line. Hermiston's got a first down and a 10. 9.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, trailing by 4 scores. Faitete to the right. Now Wagner in motion, right to left. They'll hand it to him, reverse to the right side for Walshley. Walshley coming to the right, makes a man miss. Now he's got blockers in front at the 25, shoved out of bounds at the 23-yard line. An 11-yard gain on the handoff to Walshley.
And Rodriguez in on the push out that time. Kind of double whammed on him on the penalty, and then had to catch up to Walshley to try and make the play there.
7th first down for Hermiston. First down and 10 from the 23. Now 2 in the backfield. Wagner and Faitete will switch sides. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Faitete out of the backfield, hand off to Wagner, running left. Wagner bounced in the hole. He ran into space and then was smacked.
And 42, I don't show a 42. We'll give it to...
And a 2. Well, I mean, it was 42. Second down and 8. Snap to Schwarzy. Play action. Throw it out into the right flat. Walshley's got it there. Walshley makes a man miss at the 15. Just stepped out his heel on the sideline. So he's out at the 14-yard line. That may just be enough. 8-yard gain on the pass to Walshley.
Rodriguez again on a nice defensive job of getting out there and having to try and chase Walshley down.
Third down and 1. Hand off, Wagner trying to stretch it out to the left, trouble. Turned upfield, put his foot in the ground, and got first down yardage.
There's strength right there by Wagner to take it up and over the top of White of Richland and just turn it upfield for the first down.
First down and 10 from the 13. And off right side, run for Faitete. Not really a lot of space, but he does get 3 yards to the 10.
Now that time there, the big man in the middle for Richland, Silas Surplus, just absolutely swallowed him up. And Faitete tried he tried to make the cut, but Surplus just too big and strong to get away from him.
Second down, let's call it 8. Wagner motions left, right. Faitete in the backfield, running right, and he's going to get stopped. No gain on that play for Faitete.
Yeah, 42 again on the tackle to make the initial hit, and then cleaned up that time by Storms to avoid any further gain.
28-0 Richland. Hermiston trying to get on the board. Third down and 9 from the 12. Schwarzy takes a snap, looking left, pump fakes. Now he's going to step up and try to run up the middle.
Ooh.
He is caught, spun down, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. It was actually the Aiden Storms who was able to get the initial contact on Schwarzy to slow him up. And the stop for no gain. Fourth down and 9, and they'll keep the offense out there. 3 receivers left. for Schwarzy. Slaps his hands, looking left, over the middle. He'll throw that way, incomplete.
No, that there were 3 guys following Walshley, and he tried to get it there, and the only thing he could do was get it in a place where it could get batted away.
Turnover on downs. And Richland's going to take the ball over.
Yeah, the one thing we did flip the field on them. It's, they got 89 yards to go to try and do something to Hermiston, but right now Hermiston's just got to show that they can go ahead and stop this Richland offense.
Westover with split backs to the backfield. Will hand off to Stewart. Stewart breaks one-man miss and then will be tumbled under at the 15-yard line.
Good job by Wheeler in on the hit to make the initial hit, and then cleaned up on the play by DJ Wilson.
Second down and 7 to go. High snap, pulled down, handoff. Stewart running left, caught from behind as he is pulled down by Arnold at the 18-yard line, but picks up 4.
Well, now this is the play. Hermiston's got to get tough here. Eric, one thing I've noticed that Hermiston, no matter who they've got out there, they got a different defensive front now, is getting pushed up straight.
3rd down and 2, handoff up the middle.
Nice
Stewart
job.
Makes one-man miss, bounces to his left, is stood up at the 20-yard line. Gets about a yard, but it'll be a 4th down and 1 for the Bombers. Just past the halfway point of the 3rd quarter, Richland's lead is 28-0.
That time there, it was Tyson Stalker that got the big hit inside.
So Richland will run out the punt team with the 4-score lead. And that will put Aiden Storms back deep to kick inside his 10. Garrett Walshley is on the Hermiston side of the 45 and moving backwards. And speaking of moving backwards, Richland just picked up another penalty on the night. Their 11th on the night, 5-yard variety.
On the offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
See, Eric, this is a situation I would put 2 guys back. You're down, put 2 guys back, split them, and then because we're so deep in our territory, we do not want that ball to hit the ground.
And Walshley's backing up. There's some pressure. Kick is away, but it's going to bounce at the 45 and then be caught immediately. Awkwardly done so by Caden Roxburgh. Roxburgh might have actually saved Hermiston some yardage, and it stays on the Richland side of the 50. Hermiston takes over at the 48 with no return, trailing 28-0 with 4:32 left in the 3rd quarter.
And probably saved it because we had a player that went down. That ball very easily could have kicked over and right off the Hermiston offense, or the return guy coming back off the other side.
So 1st down and 10 for Hermiston from the 48-yard line. Schwarzy turns and hands to Phi Tete running right, and he's hit immediately, but pushes behind the right guard. Adam Torrey leads the way for Phi Tete to pick up 4.
Big hit inside that time by Samuel Sanford. Fold anyway. Phi Tete, good. Put the foot in the ground, stick it, and go.
2nd down and 6 from the 43. Looking left, Schwarzy with time, steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle, caught there by Remmer. Remmer is hammered at the 26-yard line. but not before he gets first down yardage, picking up 22 yards and then running right into Aiden Storms.
Aiden Storms and Rodriguez also in on the play. Great job that time. A nice read by Schwarzy that time to go ahead and pick it up and take a look. But right there in that area we talked about where he could get that pass.
Hand off right side. It's caught by Pitney. Pitney inside the 5-yard line. Pulled down by Fuel just before the goal line.
Nice little underneath screen that time to Pitney, and just to be able to get it almost down to the goal line. He kept trying to follow that Hermiston blocker in there, and he went one way, and the Richland guy actually went down to his knees, and Pitney kind of came over the top of him.
Twin backs in the backfield. Wagner to the right. They'll move Faitete out to the left. Throw it to him too high. Incomplete.
Wow.
3:28 left in the third quarter. Hermiston trying to get their first score of the game. On the Ranch and Home scoreboard at halftime, Chiawana against Kennewick. Hermiston's opponent next week, the Lions, trailing 24-0. Kamiakin's lead extended to 28-0 against the Southridge Suns. Second down and goal from the 3-yard line. Handoff, Wagner running left, hitting the backfield and dropped for a loss, flying through everybody. Samuel Stanfield.
Yeah, no block on the right side. They came in over the top of the right side of the right guard and left of the right tackle that time, and caught up to the play as it was going to the left side.
Halftime score up at Eastmont. Pasco beat Hermiston last week, trailing 34-7. A timeout for Hermiston with 3:13 left in the third quarter, trailing here 28-0. So we've heard from everybody but the Walla Walla Blue Devils, who have Hanford tonight, who are at Franrish taking on Hanford tonight. But everybody else has weighed in. No super surprises.
What was that Pasco
in
score?
This one tonight. Pasco trailing Eastmont 34-7.
Wow. Now Eastmont, is that Yakima? No. Eastmont.
Yeah, I think so. This is only year 2. We're still new to this thing.
I think that might be Ellensburg. I don't know. I'll have to take a look and see.
East Wenatchee.
East Wenatchee.
East Wenatchee. Not Wenatchee, East Wenatchee. The other side of the Columbia River.
Yep, it was closer to Ellensburg.
Sure. All right, third down and goal to go. Schwarzy to throw, right side, incomplete, just out of the reach of Garrett Walshley. And it'll bring up fourth down and goal to go from the 6.
See, that pass was there, and that time, I don't know. I would, if I was guessing, man, I would guess that Schwarzy's arm is a little bit tender right now because he had a double clutch there, and he had Walshley early that he could have gone ahead and taken that pass out there quickly.
Wagner and Faitete in the backfield with Schwarzy. 2 receivers right. Pitney alone to the left. Schwarzy looking to set up screen over the middle. Caught in the middle. Wagner's got it into the end zone. Touchdown, Hermiston.
That's that nice little H-back screen right underneath. And Wagner came from the right side, picked up right up underneath, caught it in great stride, and nobody touched him.
So now Wagner gets the kicking tee to add the extra point with 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Hermiston's on the board. Right-footed kicker. Good snap, holds there, kick is up, and it is true. 28-7, 3:03 left in the third quarter. You're listening to Bulldog Football on AM 1360 KOHU. 3:03 left in the third quarter. Sam Schwarzy completes his first touchdown pass of his varsity career. It is a 6-yard pass to Trevor Wagner to get Hermiston back to within 21. 28-7 is the score line as the Bulldogs get set to kick it off towards the high school in the east end zone. Wagner is only the second kickoff of the night. He started the game kicking this direction. A little bit of wind behind him, and he kicked it halfway into the end zone. This one is a low bouncer at the 20, bounce at the 10, picked up at the 5 by Davis Copeland at the 15, 20, full head of steam, breaks the tackle at the 25, across the 30, and Marshawn Davis Copeland is pulled down at the 33-yard line.
Brought down by Arnold and Vincent Trevino. Arnold on a good solid hit. Trevino come in and cleaned it up.
All right, the Bulldog defense, they got to stop on their last drive. They need to force another Richland punt. Get the ball back into their hands. And if they can do it on 3-and-out fashion, that would really make things of thoughts of a possible comeback come a little bit more clear. Davis Copeland in the backfield. He rolls out to the left. Looking back to the right. Westover completes it and immediately hits. Stepping up, reading the play perfectly was Pitney. Check that. That was Remmer.
Nice job by Remmer jumping the pattern, getting a little bit of talking to for a little extracurricular, but on the spin and takedown, but a great job that time by Remmer to come through and make that play.
The intended Grady Kriskovich is the one who ends up losing 4 yards. Hand off Davis Copeland running up the middle. He'll get the 4 yards back and then one more. No, they'll stay down at the 33, so no gain. Well, back to the original line of scrimmage, a 4-yard gain for Davis Copeland on the rush.
Wagner on a good tackle, got in off the inside of the Richland tackles hind portion there and made that tackle just barely for a gain.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 28-7 Richland's lead. Play action. Time to throw. Westover throws the fuel in the slot left on a hitch route, and he gets over the 45 in the middle of the field up to the 48-yard line.
Another tackle by Arnold that time, but again, they're finding that soft spot where we have it in the middle. Joe, is there a flag down also?
Nope. First down.
No.
On the 14-yard gain. By the way, 193 yards for Ben Fuel tonight.
Wow.
2 touchdowns. First down 10 from the 48. Throw again. Fuel open again. Fuel's got it in the middle of the field on a slant play. Inside the 40. Now spun around and down at the 34-yard line into Hermiston territory. Now Fuel's over 200 yards on the night as that pitch and catch is going to go for 18 yards.
That time there had an assist, but I tell you, Ryan Arnold just absolutely made that saving tackle.
2 receivers right for Westover. First down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Westover takes the snap, turns and hands off. Davis Copeland running right side. Sutter steps, comes back to his left. Nice jump cut, gets past one man. And then I think it was Arnold again.
Arnold again.
Yes, it was at the 30. Davis Copeland is tackled after a 4-yard gain.
Boy, Arnold just reads so well on that run. But he's got to have some help up front. Right now, we've probably got the smallest defensive line we've had in during the game. Maybe going for, Coughlin's out there, but maybe going for a little bit more speed. But that's where our middle linebackers have got to make a big difference for us.
15 seconds left in the third quarter. Davis Copeland, probably the last play of the half. Big hole right side, first down yardage, down the right hash marks to the 22-yard line. He's going to get 8 yards, and it'll be the last play. I guess the clock is stopped while the chains are moved. I suspect it's going to be the last play of the third quarter, and Richland will take a 28-7 lead into the fourth. That's going to be the case. Fourth quarter coming up. When we come back, on AM 1360 KOHU.
After 3, Richland 28, Bulldogs 7.
Is he sleeping?
Take the break. I know.
Where did you get the next team? Right, didn't it? I just watched Netflix and
Well, that was Arnold's 9th solo. He is having a killer night. And he's been in on 3 others. Of what I've seen, he's probably been in a lot more.
Third quarter, 7-7. Bulldogs score, Richland scores, but it means it's still a 21-point lead. 28-7 the scoreline as we start the fourth. Richland has a first down and 10 from the 22-yard line. Now attacking the east end zone, left to right as we look at things on your radio dial. Harrison Westover in the backfield. Kai Stewart to his right. Stewart will take the handoff. Running left, caught in the backfield. He dives forward to get a yard or two. Back across the original line of scrimmage, but, well, who else? Ryan Arnold. What a night, Sonny.
Oh, man, that's his 10th solo tackle on the night tonight, Eric. And he's been in on 14 different plays tonight. Has 4 assists and 10 solos. Huge night.
Second down and 9 from the 21. High snap, pulled down. Westover throws left side. Underneath route, caught by Palm. Palm is tripped up. Just his second reception of the night. This one goes for 11 yards. His first reception of the night was a 79-yard touchdown reception. The second touchdown catch of the game thrown by Harrison Westover. That was back in the first quarter, and it made it a 14-0 lead. It was actually on back-to-back passes because he threw a 66-yarder to Fuel on the first drive, opened the second drive with the 79-yarder to Palm. First down and 10 from the 11. Handoff, Stewart. Stewart tripped up as he falls head over heels over the top of a Hermiston linebacker.
Over Wheeler that time, but boy, Eric, that had a huge hole that was blown by that Richland line, just starting to eat up some yardage on us.
3-yard gain, second down and 7. Ball just about the 9. Stewart will move, shifting to the right behind the quarterback Westover. High snap, throw right, slant play, too high, incomplete, looking for Fuel.
Boy, but guess who was in on the quarterback that time? Just making him throw high. We had Wheeler coming on a blitz that was right in the face mask of the quarterback that time for a good hurry to possibly make that go high.
Running clock late in the third quarter at Lamson as Kamaikan has extended their lead over Southridge to 41-0, so they'll run the clock rest of the way. Third down and 7. Rolling right, Westover throws into the flat for Fuel. Fuel catches it right side, breaks a tackle, and pulled out of bounds at the 2, keeping him out of the end zone on a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle by Wagner, just getting up underneath it and rolling them out of bounds. It's just that play action pass at RPO that we talked about that right now, Eric, is kind of confusing, it looks like, or at least getting us back on our heels for all game long.
4th down and 1 from the 3. Handoff. Copeland in the backfield. Hit and stop. Coughlin, the initial one there. And the mark will be a loss of yards and a loss of downs. It was the big boys, Dustin Coughlin leading the way.
And then DJ Wilson finishing it up.
So for the 3rd time in this game, Richland turns the ball over on downs. It wasn't as quick as Hermiston would have liked to stop after they scored that touchdown, but down 28-7 with 10:10 left. Crazier things have happened. 21 points and a quarter is not out of the question. Ball at the 4-yard line. Hermiston takes over. Schwarzy's got his heels on the goal line. Snap is good. Handoff to Faitete, and he is hit good in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Yeah, that was that time there. Storms just absolutely ripped through that hole.
Chiawana 37-0 against Kennewick, Hermiston's opponent next week. 2nd down and 10. Schwarzy takes a snap, quick throw, left side, caught in the flat, and tripped immediately. They have just played so well defensively on the corners. Aiden Storms, another tackle for him to stop Walshley for no gain.
Yeah, they're like I have been saying, they have been so quick to read that pass, and we're a little bit tardy to get it out there. And the back that's out there on the doubles out there is not getting the block that he needs to get, or at least the seal that he needs to get.
3 minutes gone in the 4th quarter. Hermiston down by 21. Schwarzy, hands off by Tete, trying to get the edge left. He does get the edge. He puts his shoulder down and runs over the top of a tackler out to the 10-yard line.
Number 29 that time.
So
Jordan Lee made it in there for the nice tackle, and good job by Faitete getting his shoulders turned and pushing upfield, but just not enough push off that offensive line right now, Eric.
Still 4th down. Wagner precariously in the deep part of his end zone to punt this one away. Snap is good there. Richland brings pressure, but Wagner gets a high kick away. It'll bounce at the 35. Take a Hermiston roll. Touched by Richland. Still falling around. Rolls around to the 45, and Hermiston is finally able to pick it out of the pile. And at the bottom of the pile, it was Spencer Jewell who is able to finally recover it.
Yeah, that kind of makes you wonder exactly what he was thinking about. I mean, that ball's down there, and he's going to try and run up and get it. And unfortunately, goes off his fingertips. Jewell right there to recover the ball.
Looks like Mike Mosier, the offensive play call here. He's got a bee in his bonnet. Maybe trying something deep on this 1st down and 10 after the change of possession. Play action to throw. Lots of time. Schwarzy pulled it down, rolling right out to the edge, tripped up, and taken out at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that time there it was.
He loses 4 yards on the rush.
Again, 42 on the. On the tackle, and they we just cannot get that ball out quick enough, Eric.
2nd down and 14. I did think they were going to look deep, and they did, but Schwarzy didn't quite feel like he had something he could throw out there. Throw to Wagner left flat, but Wagner slips a little bit behind him. 2-yard gain on the pass to Wagner. And 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, can't waste this opportunity of the turnover there close to midfield. We've got to be able to go ahead and get some positive stuff out of this.
From the 43, Schwarzy again looking to throw. Set up a screen over the middle, dropped by Walshley. It was not well thrown to him. It was pretty well covered, it looked like, by Richland, and so it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, they had, once again, right in the middle of that whole thing, Storms was ready to make the tackle. He's actually the one that was just off from Walshley's hip.
Snaps a little bit low. Wagner is able to pick it up and get a punt away. Kind of angled over to the right. It'll bounce and take another Hermiston roll inside the 25. Ends up rolling nicely for Hermiston.
Inside the 25 and about the 23-yard line.
Down to the 23 with 7:04 left in the 4th quarter. And Hermiston trailing 28-7. The Richland Bombers will take over and try to milk some clock. So it's going to be on this defensive line again to try to get some stops. The defensive line and the linebackers led by Arnold, who has been fantastic.
Yeah, that's is he playing the Superman position?
No, he's a true linebacker.
He is a
Wagner's
true, not the
one
Mike,
who's
huh?
kind of, the Superman's their rover, kind of a strong safety type spot. Handoff up the middle.
And Ryan again.
It appears like there's a new shirt in taking that run. It's Cade Bronze, who is a senior.
Another stop by Ryan Arnold there after a gain of 5.
5-yard gain up to the 29-yard line for Bronze, who's to the right. Westover on the quarterback keeper. Oh, he breaks one tackle. Westover still trying to make something out of nothing. He's ripped down at the 20-yard line.
Penny.
So they say at the 21, and so he loses 8. And it's Westover's first try to run all night, and it's a loss of 8 yards.
Yeah, he should have given it off on that RPO. Although Wagner would have had the run stopped for the first time.
Halfway through the 4th quarter, Hermiston down by 21. 3rd down and 13 facing Richland. Westover, straight drop, looking to throw. Right side, back shoulder catch for Fuel. Came back and got it. Has it. First down yardage up to the 37-yard line. Just textbook right there, and it goes for 16 yards to Fuel.
Yeah, that's
who has... Sonny's got 233 tonight on 11 catches.
And that time there, that was a good job by Remmer, but Remmer just let him get off and get a step on him, and that's been our downfall all night long.
Handoff. This is the senior backup, Bronze, running left. Bronze still on his feet. He's got first down. He's into Hermiston territory, still on his feet, fighting across the 45. Bronze gets all the way down to the 43-yard line on that run, picking up 16.
Wagner had the initial hit, and he was spun off, but he stayed with him and ended up getting the final tackle on it because he was able to spin away from 2 other Hermiston tacklers. And I think Coach Faitete is going to have just a little bit of talk or give his defense a little bit of a breather right now.
So the timeout for Hermiston. They'll bring the huddle together. You got to wonder, this team's probably pretty tired. They've been on the field a lot again tonight defensively, and so as the coaches are shouting obstructions at them, how much of it is baffle-gab and how much is it understood here? Down 28-7 with 5:32 left. Again, I don't think it's a bad performance from the defense. The early busts in the secondary to lead to the 14-0 first quarter, but after that, Richland's been the better of the 2 teams tonight, but not by a ton.
No, and if you have anything to say, that's negative about Hermiston, it's that Hermiston is not finishing off the initial hit, other than Arnold and occasionally Coughlin. And Bradshaw, the initial hits, they're getting Richland's able to spin out of some of these. That's what they need to clean up a little bit.
Handoff left side, no room to run at all. Loss of yardage. Richland has started to move in some fresh shirts on the line as well. In there on the stop for
Cardenas.
Hermiston.
Cardenas on the stop there.
Sam
Nice job.
Cardenas, the sophomore.
And about 16.
It's going to be a loss of 5 for Bronze. Second down and 15. Bronze again, right side run, stood up right at the line of scrimmage as Arnold stepped up into the hole, and Coughlin was there as well. But Dustin Coughlin has stayed down, grabbing his left leg, and so they will have Dan Emery race out and check on Dan. And Dan, as he raced out onto the field, he was attending to somebody else, and so one of the pockets of his pack was open, and so every bounce he took along the field, another roll of tape came out and left this trail of tape rolls out to Coughlin, who looks like he is cramping with 4:42 left in the fourth quarter. 28-7 is the score line. We'll take a break. You're listening to Bulldog Football at AM 1360 KOHU.
Forward 7-28. Are you kidding me? Richland team won the state title 2 years ago. Okay, but they also lost their first game. Your team that might have a state title.
Yeah, they need to get him right over to the water.
Third down, 15. Westover throws near flat. And he's got a completion to Matt Robinson. Robinson's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
And Arnold just tortured him. Another hit.
Gain of 5. Up to the 43-yard line. 4:15 left in the fourth quarter. 28-7 is the Richland lead. Fourth down, Richland's going to leave the offense out there. Fourth down and 10 from the 43 in Hermiston territory. Westover looking left, comes back, right back shoulder. If you'll drop that one.
Incomplete. Nice job. Rimmer was close, just was led just a little bit too much on that pass play.
So the turnover on downs will give Hermiston the ball, down 28-7 with 3:44 left. On the Ranch and Home scoreboard after 3 quarters, Chiawana 37-0 lead against the Kennewick Lions. Pasco trailing Eastmont 50-14 up in East Wenatchee. And the Kamaikan Braves have turned on the running clock against the Southridge Suns. End of the third quarter was 41-0 as Kamaikan looks to finish that out and start 2-0. First down and a 10 for Hermiston. Schwarzy stands in the pocket, throws underneath, tipped ball, bobbled ball. Wagner dropped the ball. Incomplete.
Yeah, that time right to Wagner, hit him right in the hands, a little bit low on him, but Wagner did the right thing. Had he not played defense, that would have been a pick, because that ball was kind of popped up in the air, and the Richland defender was right there to try and Wagner ripped his arms away from it.
Second and 10 from the 43, left hash mark set. Receivers all tight to the formation, 3 of them bunched to the right. Schwarzy straight drop, looking to go over the middle. He'll dump it that way, and the completion to Wagner up to the 49-yard line, pickup of 6 yards.
Nice job. That's right in that area that we've been talking about. Palm on the catch, but Wagner catching it right there in that little open spot where the linebackers vacate from the from the pass option there. And Wagner, nice job.
3rd and 4 from the 49. Just on Hermiston's side of the 50. Schwarzy sprint out to the right. Looking to throw. He will throw. And the ball is tipped a couple of times, incomplete. Off of the fingertips for the Richland Bombers of Ryan Johnson, the junior linebacker. Deflected it away from 2 different Hermiston receivers.
Yeah, that one there definitely took way too long to develop, and I know Schwarzy wants to go ahead and try and make this thing, but if he's going to do that, he's got to get that ball out there quick.
4th down and 4, 49-yard line again is the ball spot. Schwarzy stays in the pocket. Delayed handoff up the middle for Faitete across the 40. 35
power.
puts his shoulder down and gets up to the 30-yard line. A 21-yard run for Daniel Faitete and a Hermiston first down.
And a nice hit by Ryan Johnson again, but Faitete just absolutely took that draw play and went straight north and south on the field.
First down for Hermiston via the run. 2:49 left in the 4th quarter, down 3 scores. Handoff, no, fake it, throw near side. Remmer's got it at the 25 on the screen, makes a man miss at the 15. Down inside the 10 where he's pulled down by Ryan Johnson. Remmer catches it, gets 21 more yards.
Nice job that time of stepping inside, this time of the blocker that they had out there on that bubble screen, and then making the little side steps to make Richland miss.
First down and goal from the 9. Faitete to the left of Schwarzy. Schwarzy. Time delayed again. Faitete up the middle again. This time it's sniffed out by Richland. Faitete keeps his feet churning and gets himself down a 3-yard gain about to the 6.
Yeah, it's actually Wheeler that's in for Faitete. Good hit that time. Good stop by the strong safety coming up. And making that play, that was Aiden Storms again.
Wheeler, the running back to the right of Schwarzy. And Faitete, after that 21-yard run, he actually came up limping a little bit. Back corner, a little too tall.
Oh, there's
flag coming out, looking for Remmer on a fade route. There was quite a bit too much on it from Schwarzy, but we'll check on the marker.
I think he got grabbed up because it was the back judge and the official that was in the back of the end zone, not on the sideline judge, that made the call. So he must have saw him grab him. Because I don't think it's a pass interference. I think it's just it'd be a pass interference or a holding.
Pass interference, half the distance to the goal, and they'll replay the down. So 2nd and goal from like the 3.5. 91 seconds remaining in the game. Hermiston trailing 28-7. Punch one in, can try for an onside kick. Wheeler's still the back. He's to the left of Schwarzy. 3 receivers bunched out to the right. Picked up, dropped. Schwarzy running right. Schwarzy trying to avoid some contact. Reaches for the goal line. The ball is knocked out. And the official, kind of late, but he does say the ball is down and the runner is down. So Schwarzy gains a yard.
Yeah, that time.
Down to the 1.
Hermiston caught a little bit of a break because, I tell you what, it was Copeland that was right there that kind of made the hit on Schwarzy.
At the same time, if he turns it upfield, he actually gets into the end zone instead of trying to turn it out to the side. Handoff up the middle, the 3rd down and goal run is stopped for nothing. Faitete is back in there, but he lost a yard on the rush. And so there's 35 seconds left, and Hermiston's just trying on this 4th down and goal from the 2 to get one more touchdown on the board before the end of this game. Clock is spinning. Fight Tate to the right of Schwarzy. 3 receiver options left. Now Wagner in motion. Left to right is a sweep man. Takes the toss. Wagner to the right. To the goal line. Touchdown Hermiston. Trevor Wagner, the 2-yard run with seconds left will make it a 28-13 game, and then Wagner will have a chance to add on the extra point.
Yeah, that nicely formed play that time. Either Daniel, all 3 of them, Schwarzy could have taken it, Wagner could have taken it, or Fatete could have taken it because they had that set up and they had the seal on the corner that the only one out there was a cornerback and he could not have stopped anybody.
Wagner's kick is up and it is through. 28-14 the score line with 13.8 seconds remaining. So the Richland Bombers are going to come away with the victory here tonight, and they will get to 1-1 on the season. Hermiston's going to fall to 0-2. Next week they take on a Kennewick team that has seen a increasingly looks better and better Chiawana team. Looks like they're going to shut them out tonight. So after Hermiston gives up those 14 points in the first 2 drives for Richland, things really they started to even up a little bit. They fell behind so much early on and tried to dig themselves out of a hole. I will say this, down by 4 and then 3 scores, Sonny, they kind of took the reins off of Sam Schwarzy a little bit more and let him try some more things, and he was able to throw the ball downfield with a little bit more regularity, and you know, there's some positivity as you get the opportunity going into this next week, getting ready for Kennewick to work both Schwarzy and Sloan if he gets healthy, and try to keep developing and evolving this offense to be more potent.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Eric. He should be able to, if we can get Sloan healthy. Sloan definitely has the better of the 2 arms right now.
Wagner recovers the onside kick. He rolled one straight up the middle. It took 2 hops, and then Wagner himself chased it down and grabbed it.
Wagner picked that up himself. That's a great, I'll tell you what, that's, they got something going for him on the kicking game, Eric.
Wagner has been special here this evening in how he's improved his punting, how he's gotten even more leg strength in his kicking, just getting more consistent with it. So, 13.2 seconds left. It really doesn't feel like there's enough time, but down 28-14. I don't know, I guess Hermiston's looking for the cover now. Schwarzy, straight drop, looking to throw. So now he'll get to unleash. Well, he's got to get away from a tackler. He gets away from another tackler. Rolling right, throws it, completes it, an underneath route to Walshley to the 44-yard line. It took 9 seconds, so there's just 4.5 seconds left, but it's a 5-yard gain to Walshley.
Is complete.
Nice job that time, because I tell you what, that defensive end for number 84 for Richland.
That's Mason Popsicle.
Popsicle had him lined up for a big hit.
2nd down and 5. That doesn't really matter. There's 4.5 seconds left. Schwarzy is going to get the throw one. Oh, huge blitz. The offensive line was a sieve, and Schwarzy's hammered out of bounds far side. And wait, there is a flag
and that is for
as
a late
the clock
hit.
Ran out, which means there's going to be an untimed down for Hermiston for this personal foul late hit.
You might have a player ejection here, Eric, because he came out there, number 10, on the play that Kitchens absolutely, whenever he did there, landed and then started shoving, and then even went as far to hit him a second time after he was on the ground.
Well, Mike Neidhold's getting his explanation over on the sideline as the officials.
Late hit, out of bounds.
So there will be one untimed down. I didn't think that they were going to exclude Kitchens. He is not. It's just a personal foul penalty.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just watching what he was doing as I was looking through the glasses over there, Eric. That is one that definitely could have gotten him because of the extracurricular activity that was taken on the sideline. I mean, you don't hit him like that and then push him the second time again.
It's an untimed down for Hermiston, and it moves it up to the 35-yard line. So 2 receivers each way. Schwarzy's going to get a chance. Let's see if he gets some blocking this time. He'll kind of stick in the pocket, throw it over the middle, and there is a catch. It's not going to go super far, but Wagner's got another catch to end the night. Good for 10 yards, down to the 25, and that will bring us to the end of the game. 28-14 is the score line, and the Richland Bombers get the victory here tonight, dropping Hermiston to 0-2, and Hermiston sees Richland improve to 1-1. Richland at home next week at Sunnyside, coming to Franrish Stadium. Hermiston going up to Lamson to take on the Kennewick Lions next Friday night. Sway Motors post-game show is coming your way when we come back to Bulldog Stadium here on your hometown radio station, AM 1360 KOHU.
Only took the whole game to figure it out.
All right, so now you got to start doing the total stats and how many rushing yards there were for each team and how many passing yards there were for each team.
What?
Yeah, look, you sit down. You ain't going anywhere. This ain't like rodeo. You're going to be here for a little bit. I'm paying you big money. You got dinner. All right, so 5, 75, 75, and 41.